So for math today, we are starting something new called multiplication. Maybe you've heard of it. But the strategy actually that we're starting with is called using area model. It's also called the box method. So it's kind of used with both terms. And we're going to be practicing with both 2 by 1 and 3 by 1 multi-digit. The big reminder that I want to have or remind you of right now is that I am more than okay with you guys still using your multiplication charts while you're doing your practice. You're going to do something called boom cards today that are going to look very similar to what I'm going to be showing you. So you want to make sure you definitely pay attention to this lesson because it's going to help you with your assignment. But also, it's really important for you to remember that I am totally okay with you using resources to help you get your facts right because I don't want those facts getting imprinted into your head incorrectly. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the first one. It's called an area model. What I would encourage you to do is obviously, like I always do, a piece of paper, pencil. We want to do our work on piece of paper, pencil, or dry erase board and marker, and then always convert it over to whatever you're working on digitally. So in this case, we have 29 times 7. So I'm going to go ahead and write that problem out. And it's really fun. Area models are a lot of fun to use. They're really they're a great source of being able to think about multiplication in a different way than I thought of it whenever I was, being taught. And I just think my husband struggled a lot with math. And so when I learned this method and brought it home and showed it to him, it was really crazy how much easier everything was for him. So anyway, so what you do is you always take the single digit with the area model or the box method and you put that along the side. Okay, so that's how we're going to start. And then you simply are going to take the 2-digit or 3-digit, whatever you're working with, and you're going to expand it out. So therefore, I know how many 10s I have is 20 and how many 9s I have is 9. So this might kind of remind you of some of the lessons from last week when I was doing that factors and multiples and breaking the 10s and the 1s up. And that's why we learn expanded forms, so we can bring it into other things like multiplication. So we expand it out into the 2 different boxes. And then all you have to do, guys, watch very carefully, is I circle my basic facts. Okay, so when I say basic facts, I mean facts that should be memorized by 4th grade, but if they're not, that's okay. But they're definitely facts that you can find on a normal multiplication chart. So if I pulled up my multiplication chart, I would be able to go to 7 times 2 and find that it equals 14. So I'm going to put a multiplication sign here because anytime I'm working with the numbers here and up here, I'm multiplying them. And then anytime I'm working with these two numbers, they're called partial products, and I'm adding them. Okay, so we're multiplying this row by this row, but we're adding across, and I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, so 7 times 2 we know is 14, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 14, and then all you have to do, guys, is when you see a 0, you just simply tack it on. So 7 times 20 is actually 140. But it's very easy if you just take the basic fact, multiply it, and then tack that 0 on, because what it is it's not 2, it's 2 groups of 10 that you're multiplying. So just think of it that way. And then you simply go basic fact, 7 times 9. So again, you're going across and down, across and down. So 7 times 9 we know is 63. Again, you can use your multiplication chart if you are stuck on those math facts. And then all you have to do, guys, is like I said, these two are what we call partial products. Okay, so what I'm going to do with those numbers is I'm going to add them up. I stack and add so that I can be sure that I am adding correctly and that I am lining up my place value. So 0 plus 3 is 3, 4 plus 6 is 10, so I put my 0, carry my group of 10, 1 plus 1 is 2, so that's 200. So my answer is 203. Some of you might have been like, oh my gosh, that's so easy, Miss Smith. I know, right? And some of you might be like, oh my gosh, I don't get it, Miss Smith. And that's okay, guys, because guess what? I'm going to help you through it. So no worries. So what we're going to do here is it wants you to drag and drop. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop the numbers into the box. So that one goes there. This one goes here. and then I'm going to type my answer right here and say 203. Okay. I'm going to move in. Let's do another one, just in case you didn't quite get it yet. That's okay. That's why we're doing this together. It's day 1. We'll practice this several times. It'll be all right. So I want everybody right now to go ahead and write this one down with me. So if you need to, pause the video so you can get it down. But everybody go ahead and write this one with me. 45 times 5 equals, and then you're going to draw your box. I like to take up 2 lines if you have lined paper. You're going to split it in half. Okay. You're going to put your plus sign here. And I know it's not on the computer like this, but I always put the multiplication sign here so that it reminds me that I'm multiplying across and down. Okay. Then I'm always going to put my single digit over here. Do you notice how I put it in the middle just to be sure that it goes across the whole thing? And then I'm going to expand my 45 out into 40 and 5 because there's 40 and then 5. So now we just have to do our multiplication chart. I'm going to go ahead and write the equations in the boxes for you so you can see where I'm getting this from. So I know that I'm going to multiply 4 times 5 because it's the basic fact. But I'm going to go ahead and write the whole equation in the box so you can see. The equation that goes with this box is 40 times 5. But I know that all I have to do, guys, is do the basic fact, which is the single digit times the single digit. 4 times 5 is 20. And then I know that there's 1 0 there, so I'm going to tack that on. 200. Okay. Then I know that I'm going to go across and down. So in this box, it's 5 times 5, which equals, if I use my multiplication chart or I know my base facts or count by 5, skip count by 5s, I get 25. Now I know this is a partial product and this is a partial product. So over here, I'm going to line those up. I'm going to add those together to get 225. Okay, hopefully it's getting a little easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and drag those in after I've done the work on a piece of paper, and I'm not trying to do this stuff in my head because then I would make silly mistakes and it's not worth the time to have to go back and fix everything. So this one doesn't have, it's actually one of those ones where we're going to move this out of the way to check our answer. We're missing the breakup. So this is one that I'm going to show you. This is more of what you guys are going to have on your boom cards today, which is again the new way, a new thing that I'm trying. So make sure you follow the directions that I put on there. All right, so let's do this one. So the equation is 78 times 9. Okay, go ahead and get yourself set up. While you pause the video, get set up. You can even try the whole thing yourself and then follow along with me. That's the best way to learn. So right now, go ahead and set yourself up for success. Notice how I'm organizing it. I'm keeping it nice and neat. I'm using the lines on the paper. You should be doing the same thing. Separating that in half. I know that a number is going to go here. I know a number is going to go here. And I know a number is going to go here. And I know my plus sign needs to be here. And then I need my partial product sentence is going to go here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do this. So go ahead and set this up. Pause the video. Go ahead and try it on your own. And then press play when you're ready to check your answer. So I know that a 9 goes here because you always put the single digit there. All right. Then I know I'm going to break up the tens place. So we have 70. And then the ones place in 8. Sorry, excuse the announcements. All right. Then I know in this box right here, I'm just going to show you the basic fact. I know that it's 7 times 9 is the basic fact because we're multiplying the side and the top. So 7 times 9. I'm going to go ahead and put the equation in there. 70 times 9. Okay, so 7 times 9 we know is 63. Then we're going to tack on our 0. So I'm going to go ahead and write 630 over here because I know that's the partial product for the first box. Then I'm going to go over and down. I know that the equation in this box is supposed to be 9 times 8. If I use my multiplication chart or my math facts or skip counting, I know 9 times 8 is 72. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here because I know that's a partial product. And then I'm going to add 0 plus 2 is 2. 7 plus 3 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. So my answer is 702. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enter it. So I'm going to put my 9. 70 was up here. 8 is up here. Remember, the boxes on the outside are where you're breaking the number apart. And then my answer is 702. And I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm not sure why. Use the numbers below to fill in the partial products. There are no numbers, so that's really interesting. That's okay, though. I'm going to do this. Maybe. Insert and text box. All right, there we go. I'm going to improvise. Improvise. 40. Enter. Okay, let's see. What do I need to put there? 630. And then I'm going to Control V. And I'm going to move that. And I need that one to be 72. So there we go. Now I got all the area models set up. Again, please make sure as I'm moving through these, if I'm moving too quick, you're pausing the video, trying them on your own, then making corrections based off of how I talk through it. Make sure you're following with me. If you're not trying them on your own first, you should still have a piece of paper or pencil out and be doing it with me, or dry erase board, dry erase marker, and be doing it with me. All right, let's try 1 or 2. Let's try 2 with the 3 by 1. It's the exact same thing though, guys. You're literally just adding an extra digit. So let's try it out though. So we have the equation. Come on, camera. Here we go. All right, so go ahead and write down the equation. 328 times 5 equals, and then set yourself up, guys. And then instead of only 2 boxes, so we're going to draw our box a little bit bigger. We're going to go ahead and make 3 boxes because there's 1, 2, 3 digits. We know that the single digit goes along the side. Okay, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to color code this if I can. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's see if I have enough markers to color code it. Don't think. Let's see, I got this color. Oh, come on. I used to have all kinds of colored pens, and somehow they've all disappeared. So crazy how that happens. Okay, let's see if this works. So we got our single digit here. They always come here, okay? Then we're going to put our hundreds place here. So always go from biggest to smallest. So we know this is 300. So I'm going to put that here. We're expanding it out. Let's see if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. We're expanding it out. Okay, so that's a 2, but I know it's in the tens place, so that means it's a 20. Then we have our ones place right here. Oops, sorry. Oh, well, that's not working. Fun. Come on, pencils and pens. Let's try this marker. There we go. That's an 8. And we know it's in the ones place, so it's just an 8. All right, so now let's think about that. So we're going to go ahead and put the equation. And we know that these are plus signs because it's expanding them out. Same thing though, when we get our answers, we're going to add them all up. So I'm going to go ahead and put my plus sign, and I'm going to put my line over on the side so that I know I'm going to have 3 numbers that I need to add up to get my final answer. All right, so let's do our equation is 300 times 5. And everybody might be going, oh my gosh, Miss Smith, you want us to do that? That's crazy. But it's really not, guys. All you do is circle the basic fact, the single digits. 3 times 5 is equal to 15. And you would find that on your multiplication chart. Okay. Then guess what? Instead of tacking 1 0 on, how many zeros do we see? We see 2 zeros. So we're going to tack on 2 zeros. So our first number we're going to write down is 1,500. Okay. Then we go over and down, and we have the equation 20 times 5 now. Again, basic fact. So the 2 single digits, 2 times 5 is 10. We only have one extra 0, so we're going to tack that on. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here with my equation. Again, always over and down. Bigger number first, 8 times 5. I look at my multiplication chart or skip count by 5s, and I know 8 times 5 equals 40. And I'm going to stack it over here. Notice when I stack with place values. Make sure you're putting the ones place lined up with the ones place, the tens place lined up with the tens place, and so on and so forth. So the ones place equals 0, tens place equals 40, hundreds place equals 600, and the thousands place equals 1,000. So your answer is 1,640. If you feel like I'm going through too fast through this, you need to go back and rewatch the video, because the second time it will most likely make a lot more sense. Again, you're welcome to pause the video at any point, so keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and drag these numbers over where they need to go. So I should have put the 5 here, and then I put the 300 here. Oops. And then, nope, that's the 8. Just kidding. 300. Come on, 300. 300 here. And I know that, the 20 goes here. Notice that I'm doing all of this after I've done it on a piece of paper, because doing it only on the computer is going to cause you to make some mistakes. And then I'm going to type in my answer, 1,640. And voila, we now have our answer to a pretty complicated multiplication problem, but it really wasn't that hard. You just have to take your time. I know this is probably different than how your parents have learned it. I know this is not something you've done before, but you are up for the challenge. You're going to do great. We're going to keep practicing it together, and you're going to come to the 10:15 math session if you're still confused after watching this video, and I'll be happy to answer your questions and help you out. All right, have fun with it, guys, and take your time. Use those multiplication charts. Thanks for listening.